This is Annette coming at you. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. It's just about day 3 on my solid food fast, and I have some things to talk to you about. Um, so, as I said yesterday, I'm drinking the vitamin, the emergency, and it has several different types of vitamins to keep my electrolytes up with some water, and I'm going to be drinking that today with regular water. I did have 2 cups of coffee this morning with some heavy cream and no sugar. And I put a teaspoon of coconut oil in that, which is, I have the organic coconut oil, and I put a tablespoon of that in. And I'm putting it on my skin. I have a coconut oil, I have avocado oil, olive oil for a moisturizer. And this has been a little difficult, not that much difficult. I'm not really hungry per se, but as I said yesterday, I had a problem with I didn't eliminate my colon because when you stop eating and if you don't expel what's inside of your digestive system, it's just like toxins that build up in your body. So I had to do a cleaning of my digestive system and colon. So I freed that, and because of that, I decided to put in an extra probiotic and have a. What I did was I have some organic yogurt. So I had a half a cup full with some kefir. Now there is some carbs in there, but the thing about it is with your gut microbiota or your gut microbiome, we're about 95% bugs, right? 90% somewhere around there. And we want to populate our microbiome with the good bacteria, not the bad. And then there's a lot of gurus who dispute that, right? Hey, if it works for you, go ahead. But this is just my path, and this is my my dogma, right? So the objective here of me fasting is not so much of the weight, but to get the inflammation out of my body, to reduce water weight, and to reset some of my immune cells, and then concentrate on weight loss. It looks like I'm losing about a half a pound a day, which is fine. I'll take that. Half a pound a day, I'll take that. Usually that's par for the course. That's how much I usually, on my bariatric, sometimes I would lose like a pound every other day or whatever. Didn't sleep very good last night again. I'm kind of like edgy kind of feeling. I'm not really hungry, but then I try to not think about food, because, and try to watch TV that has no commercials, because that can drive you crazy. And then I'm watching a lot of documentaries, and I'm watching a lot of podcasts. Found out that the Health Ranger, Mike Adams, has been, his channel's been taken down from YouTube. They've done a lot of censorship lately on different types of channels and, different types of content. You know, if you never saw some of his content, it's kind of enlightening, I should say. And he has like a lab, and he tests his food and stuff like that. He's not a vegan, and he's not a, I don't know, he really doesn't discuss diet, I don't think. But he is like a naturalist. Like he eats a lot of non-GMO foods, and he advocates anti-vax, and he has a lot of interesting content because his theory is that you know, Bill Gates and all those people, they always have an agenda, and he said that you know, he brought up an interesting point where this one place in Florida, which I knew about, they were treating a certain demographic population for cancer. Come to find out, the people didn't have any cancer. So they were treating these people for cancer and giving them oncology medications, chemotherapy, and telling them that they had cancer and all this stuff where they really didn't. And they funneled thousands of dollars of Medicaid and Medicare, and funding. The pharmaceutical company got rich on selling their chemotherapy and whatever else they sold in with it. Testing, medical testing, scans, and all that. If you got cancer, you better go and have a couple diagnoses to make sure everybody is on the same wavelength. But chances are they won't be, because doctors are like bakers. Everybody has a different recipe. I know. I work for a lot of them. Worked for over 25 years. Excuse me. In healthcare. I worked in mainly the non-invasive cardiology. I worked in family health. I worked in interventional cardiology. I worked in research. I worked in gynecology. I worked in infectious disease. I worked on the floor, the hospital floor, and on an infectious disease floor. I've seen a lot in my career, in my healthcare career. Actually, in my field, in interventional cardiology, right here in Maryland, there was a hospital and a cardiologist, an interventional cardiologist, who put stents in people, and they found out that they didn't really need the stents. Haha. Because really, stents are subjective, right? Stents in your heart, they're subjective to atherosclerosis, and depending upon, you know, there's a big, you know, depending upon if you have had a heart attack, if you have a thrombus, you know, if you have all different types of heart disease, depending upon what kind of treatments you're going to get, right? But as I've learned working with a lot of cardiologists and interventional cardiologists, if you have an echocardiogram and you identify that somebody has a congestive heart failure, or they have some kind of AFib, or they have myocarditis or endocarditis, which is an infection on the heart valve. All these things, they all have their own treatment plan because there's no standardization. There is, but they do their own dogma. So anyway, that's here nor there. I worked in healthcare since I started in 1987, and 2017 was the end of my healthcare career. I don't plan on going back. You know, I'm unemployed right now, and I'm happy about it. I'm de-stressing. I'm trying to decrease my cortisol level, and trying to help my body heal, so to speak. So I feel feel like I'm lighter, and I feel less bloated. I feel less water in me, and that's what usually loses. The first 10 pounds is all water weight. So my arms, I never really had a problem with gigantic arms, except when I got edema in my entire body. So I always had like a skinny upper torso. It's the back. It's the that part. You would think of the 26 half marathons and Ironmans and all that. I would have legs like a twig. No. So anyway, I thank you for listening. I thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.